Good afternoon. Welcome to the special called board meeting this evening. Unfortunately, we are having a few technical difficulties today. You can hear us, but you can't see us right now. In approximately 10 minutes, we should have the video up and running. But just for the benefit of everyone who is listening in, I'm going to call out the board members who are here and let them say aye so that you know who is in the room at this time as far as your board members. Ms. Burns?
Aye.
Mr. George?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
And Mr. Smith will be here momentarily. He's running a little bit late. At this time, we do have a quorum, so I'm calling the special meeting to order. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. George, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Ms. Betsy Chestnut, and she will introduce and get the meeting going regarding child nutrition RFP presentations. Ms. Chestnut?
Good afternoon, board members. Today we're going to see 4 presentations from the 4 vendors who turned in RFPs to be considered for our child nutrition program. The first vendor to present is going to be Airmark, and I'm going to let them all introduce themselves as they come up or whatever. They have 30 minutes, and when we reach the 25-minute mark, if you're still talking, I'm going to say 5. So you'll know you got 5 minutes to close it up, and when it gets to the 30, I'm going to say quit. So we're trying to keep this as open and as fair as possible. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn this over to Airmark for their presentation.
Thank you, Betsy. Hello, I'm Dennis Gomez. I'm the Director of Strategic Development for Airmark. And I've been supporting Pender County for about 4 years, a little over 4 years now. Thank you very much for allowing us to present our proposal. We appreciate it. We've had a long history with Pender County, 17 years, and some really good things happened. So our team today that's going to present, Justin Cruz is our district manager. We have Vernon Tanner, our GM, and Preston Davis is our RVP. We'll cycle in and out as we go through the proposal. But for now, our proposal really focuses on 3 things. One is growth, one is people, and one is the community. So I'm going to bring Vernon in now, and Justin's going to take you through some of the detail. Thank you again. So you guys have these pigs in front of you, and you're probably wondering, why do I have these piggy banks here? And for us here in Pender County, for us it represents our investment, both on the Pender County side of the pig, because it's logoed on one side with Pender County, and the other side is the Airmark side. And so for us, we're going to walk through and talk about what that investment looks like and feels. And there are gold pirate coins there from Topsail High School. And I'm going to give you opportunities to add some of those gold Topsail High School coins to the piggy bank as we're going through the presentation. So let's start and talk about growth. So for us, in our proposal, growth is a $750,000 financial guarantee plus $600,000 in revitalization investment. So for us, it's not about putting stickers on walls or things like that. It's about bringing to life, which we've done here in some of our transformations. It's about bringing to life the child nutrition program and about bringing to life the excitement and the feel that you have when you're eating lunch with us, eating breakfast. So for us, the growth looks like 10% increase in lunch participation. So if you can, go ahead and add a coin, just 1 coin to your piggy bank. It looks like 22% increase in growth in breakfast participation. Add another coin to your piggy bank. And 100% introduction of the at-risk after-school program. Finally. This is definitely something that we have been researching, looking at, brought to Pender County almost 2 years ago, and got a lot of buy-in, but then we ran into some hurdles, especially with COVID-19. And then we partnered with the state to know exactly how to roll it out and exactly how to make it work in Pender County. So I'm going to turn it over to Vernon here to talk specifically about what the food looks like and.
All right, so all of y'all been with been in y'all's positions for a while, and y'all seen some transformations go forward over the last few years from food standpoint, some of the differences that we made into the schools themselves. But one of the things we've done is we made sure that all of our students have opportunities to get as many fruits and vegetables as possible as they go through the line. One of the things we want to do with that is expand that to different types of fruit, things like ugly fruit or dragon fruit, something that the kids haven't seen before. So it'd be something new and it'll be something seasonal. But also, we do a lot of testing, and y'all been privy to that. I've shown y'all some of the foods that we're testing in the schools right now. And that's going to be something that we do each year. We continue that process to make the schools and food better every year. And we're going to do that collaboratively with the students, with yourselves, with the district administration, to make sure that we are working toward that completely. And as you can see in the Morse, these are things that we're going to do going forward. So if we were taking a look at Pender High here, Pender High is a brainchild of something that myself and Justin have been thinking about for a while. However, we want to make sure that this is collaborable. So if you got a different idea that you would like to do with this, that's great. But as you can see, what we're doing is we're taking those concepts, those foods that we're testing, we're going to put them here, and we're going to trickle them down to Cape Fear and other middle schools to make sure that all age levels will get the same opportunity. So as we get these new products and these new recipes going and making sure that they work, we're going to trickle those down to the middle and elementary schools. For example, we have here the Pirates Pizza and Pasta. This is basically like a blaze concept. They say what they want on their pizza, we do it and put it in the wood fire oven. Same thing for pastas, which we'll include in all of the schools that have deli bars. We're going to use those pastas to order. They make what they want on it. We put it in our Mary Chef ovens and gives it right to the students for that made-to-order feel.
And so for us, we want to marry and meet students where they're at. And more times than not, students are right here. So we want to get there by making sure that we're allowing them to order mobily, right? So we already have NutriSlice now. They're able to look at the menu, they're able to count their carbs, and with NutriSlice, they're able to see the menu, they're able to count their carbs if necessary, which has been a great benefit to our nurses. They're able to kind of look at the food allergens that are listed there and figure out which ones they're allergic to and which menu items they can have. So in that scenario, we're going to take it to the next level and allow them to start ordering, mobile, using their phones, for them to get to the most important part of their day, which is the times that they can just decompress and hang out with their friends. And so for us with the dining concepts, Vernon went through Pender High. He went through what our vision is for Cape Fear and what our vision is for Hardy Trask. We have Topsail High, back there. But for us, our approach, and this is all a suggestion, obviously, this is us looking at the district as a whole and trying to figure out how we do the most good and spread it across the district, making sure that we have equivalent menu options and choices and the same things on the Topsail side of the district as well as on the Burgos side of the district. And we're spreading that investment around to make sure that we can meet every student's needs, whether you're just starting kindergarten next year or you're getting ready to graduate at the end of the year. And for us, investment does not only mean capital, it does not only mean in growth in buildings, but it also means in our people. For us, we have to take care of the people that take care of our students. So for us, our proposal includes a $1 increase to the starting and current wages of all of our employees. So if you haven't already, go ahead and add a coin. For us, we know Pender County, and we know that it is definitely a struggle, especially now with COVID, but even before then, it was a struggle to hire people. So for us, we want to increase the wages of our employees and invest in them for them to continue coming to our schools, taking care of our students, smiling. For us, there's a study done that the person that works in the cafeteria is the #1 person, them and the custodian, if you think about it, the #1 person in our elementary schools. because year after year, those students change teachers. And if you have a student that is feeling, an insecurity, that could be the smile, and that's the same consistent person they see year after year. So we want to keep those people here. In addition to that, add another coin, because with our partnership with Arizona State University, our students can, our employees can enroll in a frontline education program and finish their degrees or start a degree. For us, Tashina, who's one of our managers at West Pender Middle School, she enrolled in the program last year and is doing phenomenal and is on her way to finishing a degree she started before she started working here. A degree she started 10 years ago, she has the opportunity to finish today with no cost to her. And for us, what that equals is 100% commitment to our employees in our internal growth and development at Pender County Schools. We had Pamela Bannerman, who started as a food service lead worker, add a coin if you haven't already, excuse me, who started as a food service lead, who has been promoted and grown from within. We have Melinda Johnson that started off in the cafeteria and has grown her career to where she's one of our salaried managers. So for us, we want to continue this internal pipeline and giving our employees opportunities for growth, whether that be with us or with anybody else. We want to give them the best opportunity to move forward. And so how do we do that? We do that with training and development. So for us, our plan, is to have subject matter experts. Like this picture above here. Subject matter experts come and speak and teach our employees, whether they be local health inspectors, someone from our operational excellence department. We want them to be hands-on, making sure that our employees know and learn and understand everything about their jobs. Because for us, to retain talent, you have to get people comfortable in what they're doing as quickly as possible. And having the experts, help us do that every step of the way. So for us, we're going to hire right, and making sure that we hire the right people, especially with that new starting wage, to make sure that we're reaching them at where they can see it and where they can feel it. We're going to train them well, make sure that they are fully engaged and ready to smile, say thank you, say hi, and greet our students with the passion that we know they can. Recognize them for doing a good job, because recognition, as we all know, goes a long way with holding on to people. Nobody has ever stayed at a job that they hated or at a job where their bosses didn't appreciate them. So we want to make sure that we appreciate and show our employees that recognition and appreciation, and then we want to retain our talent. Again, giving them growth opportunities like for Pamela, like for Tashina, like for Melinda, giving them growth opportunities every step of the way. And the last thing is going into the community. So for us, it's an end-to-end process. Being partners in Pender County Schools, we've seen some of everything. And we want to continue taking care of the community as best we can. So over the past 7 years, we've donated over $56,000 in scholarships. So roughly $8,000 a year. Go ahead and add a coin. Our proposal says we're going to continue doing that. So add a coin, and in fact, add 2 coins. Because not only are we going to continue our scholarship program, we're also going to set aside money to invest in the community, because right now that scholarship program, it's felt at the high school level. Our goal is for the students and families in Pender County to feel the love across the board. So whether there's a program that needs help or support in elementary school, or there's a playground that that has been vandalized or anything like that, we want to be those partners that you come to and say, hey, how can we collaborate? How can we make this work and make this better? And for us, again, add your last coin. You should be on your last coin, hopefully. It shows 100% commitment to Pender County as a whole. Whether that, and that happens through engaging and involving students, whether that's show cooking with them, having cooking clubs, having ACE come visit, getting Dr. Hill, thank you very much, Dr. Hill, to be a part of our ACE promotions, or is it partnering with our partners at UNC Wilmington to borrow their food truck and meet students where they're at, to deliver meals and make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. And for us, we want to take that healthy lifestyle and those healthy meals home with them as well. And we do that with our Feed Your Potential 360, 365, and in our Healthy for Life promotion. So what's included in your packet today is a healthy recipe that is accessible to all parents right now. All parents right now can log on to the FYP365.com and can download healthy recipes. Right there's an entree recipe, but they have it from sauces to desserts all the way through to take that healthy lifestyle from the school where the children are eating back home with them. We also have plans for wellness fairs, as well as making sure that we are promoting our healthy lifestyle. And then we want to, again, building the community, whether it's through demos and sampling, planting a garden, or supporting the local Red Cross like we have done here in Pender County before. Our plan is to get in the water, because quite literally, we live here, it's happening to us too. We want to make sure that we're making the community better for everyone. And with that,
Thanks, Justin. Good afternoon. I'm Preston Davis. I'm the Regional Vice President for Aramark. I'm going to do a few slides here. So I think as you look through the timeline, some of the timeline that we've had here and the history that we've had here for 17 years, it's really a joint partnership here, right? We can't be successful without you, and that really boils down to the communication. Many of you on the board here have attended some of our client business reviews, our monthly joint reviews, and face-to-face engagements that we've had. All right, the reason we need that is we'll bring the expertise, and I think we have over the years, but ultimately it's your brand. It's the Pender County brand that we need to make sure we're running. We're operating your brand, not necessarily our brand. We only know that from communication. So again, we will continue with that communication. I think when you look at this slide on the right side, there are a bunch of services that Aramark offers, and we've offered many to them at Pender County over the course of the years, and they're still available, and we'll make sure that they're here for Pender County when they're needed. But the thing that I'm most proud of really is the left side of the slide here, and if you take a look, in red and blue is really the local team. It's Justin, it's Vernon, it's Jen, it's others that are here. In the green is really my regional team. Right, and that's the team that we use here to support Pender County, including myself at the top there. And every one of those people have been here to Pender County to help support in different ways, whether that's finance, whether that's OpEx, whether that's human resources, whatever it is. So that will continue, because it's not just the team that's here, it's really the team that we bring, the team that we can help support and make sure that Pender County is successful. I think before we get to questions, and I bring Vernon back to get the questions, I did want to say, look, lift up your piggy banks, right? They're pretty heavy, and a lot of that really isn't just from the investments that we're proposing now, but the investments that we've had over time. You know, we've been here 17 years, all right, and our hope is that we can be here for another longer period of time as well. As I said, we're here to run your brand, not our brand, right? We'll bring the expertise, but we want to make sure we're doing what's in the best interest of Pender County. So before we get to questions, you know, again, I thank you for having us. We're very proud of our 17 years here. We want to do more. And we thank you for your consideration. So I'll bring Vernon back and we'll look at the questions.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions, comments, observations, concerns?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Don't. Mr. Hall? All right. Thank you. Self-explanatory. Thank you so much.
no, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I mean, you've got time.
I mean, one thing I can say from a company standpoint, you know, they've always supported me. Aramark's always supported me. They allowed me the opportunity to work with y'all, first of all, but also to be able to have the resources we needed during the hurricanes, resources that we needed during the COVID periods to ensure that our students were well taken care of. And that's from us taking care of our employees while they're in the shelters, you know, 24/7, to making sure that during the COVID period we had employees to serve and do what we needed to do during that time. You know, me personally, it's been a pleasure. I try to push through the envelope every year, and that's what Aramark, you know, instills in me, to push the envelope each year, changing something that makes it better for the students. And being able to do that and seeing the difference each year, you know, something I've been proud of. And I know that over the years, you look at things and you're like, okay, this can be changed or that can be changed. And just speaking with y'all sometimes one-on-one, y'all ask me some questions and I'm able to take care of those. But for the most part, Aramark's always been here for me. We definitely hope to continue to be there for y'all. Not just the board, but mostly for our students. Our students are the ones that count, and they're the ones that make everything happen from a food service standpoint. And as long as the students are happy with the food or eating breakfast and lunch, they do better in school. And that's what I'm all about. If you can talk, as I talk to every principal, that's one of the first things that I always talk about is let's get these kids in and eating because they're going to do better in class. And working with the principals, making sure that they're able to not have any issues. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that there are not going to be issues, because there's always going to be something that we have to take care of from time to time. But we take care of those issues and we move forward. We work well with, I've worked well with the principals. My team has worked well with the principals. When Justin comes in, he's always coming to a school, seeing what needs to be done next. He meets with the principals, asks their opinion, which is one reason why we have this right here. And this is something to be proud of from my standpoint, because this one right here is one that myself and Justin have been kind of thinking about for the last year and a half. And because of hurricane and COVID and things like that, we have not been able to bring this to y'all for your consideration. But this is something that is a true transformation. And then we come over here to here, we're looking at a new deli bar in the back station that's customized just like any high school that we have. This is going to be a true transformation for this school. From food concepts to the decor, the whole 9 yards. And if we can get this accomplished, and we plan on doing this by the end of the summer, every one of these, if y'all agree to it, or even want to change something, will be done by the end of the summer. And all concepts in place. So, if, for example, Brad, if you want to do a smoking shack, that's something that we can work on and put it in. Or if we wanted to do something more regional, that's something that collaboratively we can work on and make it happen. This is not the end all be all, but this is some concepts that we've come up with over the last year and a half.
And so, as I close, as Preston and Vernon have closed, I want to, one, thank you for the partnership, because, for me as being involved in Pender in the past couple of years, it has genuinely been a partnership that I greatly appreciate. When looking at our proposal, it's all, in that number, it's all in. We don't, today, we don't come in asking for anything additional or anything extra. It's all included. And for us, the proudest moment I have with Pender is that we always find a way, whether that be in our communities or with our meals with our students, we always find a way to make it happen. Whether that be a request from any of you to Dr. Hill, we figure it out and do that. So for us, as we're going through this process and as we're putting together our ideas and our thoughts, it is a collaboration, because we have to make sure that it works for Pender County as much as we think it's going to. And to Vernon's point, these are things that we have been talking about, working on, looking at for the past year and a half, making sure that we are feeding the same way across the district, and that we understand how vital that is to making sure that there's not a feeling of difference or a feeling of separation. So as Vernon had intimated, our goal is to have this all completed by the end of the year, or excuse me, by the end of the summer, into the school year. Because our goal is we need to hit the ground running, as students have been out of school in some instances. They're going to be out of school for a year and 2 weeks from now, because everything's shut down, and then they're going to be out of school for a full year in some instances. We have to hit the ground running, and we have that momentum of 17 years of knowing what works, what doesn't work, of knowing the principles, of knowing the pain points and the things that are going to matter and the things that are going to have an impact. And we can build upon that very quickly to make it happen and make it work. So as you know, as we're looking at these piggy banks, you know, and then feeling the weight of 17 years in those relationships, for us, you know, we're looking at 2021 and beyond, which is that last, as I'm saying in front of that last one, looking into beyond. Because our plan just doesn't stop at a proposal for this upcoming year. You know, it's building long-lasting, sustainable results for the years to come. And I believe that's it.
So I do have a question after all. So how many school districts do y'all have in North Carolina?
You guys are the only ones. You guys are the only ones, and for us, you know, we want to build upon that. You know, and we can only build upon that by making sure that, that Vernon and the team here are the right people in the right places, and build upon that by, and, you know, which is kind of our mantra of making sure that we never say no. Because we do know that it's a service. And it's the service piece that you're expecting every time that you know, that you see us in our and see our, the meals that our students are eating, and a service that you're expecting every time you see us in person.
So this isn't a question, it's a compliment, or the way y'all adapted this past year and made the whole summer bus program, feeding the bus, was commendable. It was amazing to see that all come together, because there was some days that we didn't think it was going to really happen, and it was going to be impossible to do. And between your staff and our staff, they worked together and took a lot of meals out to the community that really needed it, and I appreciate that. And the way your business has adapted, being back in school, where you're not going to the cafeteria anymore, but we're getting the kids fed. That's pretty amazing too. So for that, I thank you. Can we ask the person on the phone a question?
Are you there? Are you still on the phone?
What's she been at?
Yeah.
Dr. Harvey?
Dr. Harvey? Okay. We have a question for you.
How many school districts in North Carolina contract their food services out?
There are 6 districts that have management companies now.
6 districts out of 115.
Yes.
How many of those districts statewide, not just the contracted out ones, are profitable?
I'd have to look at that data.
So I can brag on ours, because we get an audit every year, and that's one of the things that they brag about is how our.
Well, I would encourage you, this is the time to brag, so don't hold back. But I'd have to look at the profitability across the board. I have to look a little more closely at the financials. And I will tell you that not all are financially as viable as we'd like them to be.
Thank you.
Some are extraordinarily so, some are not.
So, and that's going to be my last statement. So every year I've been here since 2012, and every year when Mr. Thompson comes and gives our audit report, that is one of the things that he mentions in our audit report every year, is what a strong child nutrition program we have. So thank you for that also. Madam Chair, that's all I had.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, because that's something that we're going to continue.
Yeah.
And as you've seen in our guarantee and things in the proposal, we're going to continue that even more so. You know, from just our service in general, for example, like we're taking, at this time, we're taking meals to people's houses that are on virtual learning. You know, we have vans, we take them out every Thursday and Friday. And that's a service that we need, and we're not, from our standpoint, that's a service that Pender County needs.
Right.
And if that's what y'all ask us to do, that's what we're gonna do.
And so for us, in the profitability standpoint, you know, you don't stay profitable if students stop eating, you know, or if they don't continually grow and eat with us. And, you know, introducing that that at-risk after-school program was another way, one, to make Pender more profitable, because you get more reimbursement for those meals, but also give those students more food. You know, because the current snack program doesn't offer the same amount of food as that at-risk after-school program does. And it was a way to get more food, listening to our students who say, hey, the snack is great, but I'm a football player. I need a little bit more than this. Or
Not only that, if a student gets out of the after-school program, that, you know, they do have activities where they do physical activity, but they're going to Maple Hill from Bergall Middle School. That's a 2-hour ride.
Speaking
A minimum
of
of 2 hours.
Oh, speak in the mic. They can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. You're looking at Malthus Corner, or Malthus Corner, sorry, Maple Hill students that, when they're done with after school, have a 2 to 3 hour ride out to their houses. So by the time they get home, they're starving.
They are
They're not getting
starving.
home till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So that program will allow us to give them more food during that time.
The goal of that program wasn't to take away from family time. It wasn't to, because we understand that dinner and being around the family is important, at least for me, with my kids. That's really the only time that I get to make them sit down, especially having a 17-year-old that's running around. Can make them sit down and eat and find out about their day. For us, we're looking at that as a bridge. Using that program, getting students more food, using that as a bridge for then when they get home, they're not famished. But also, again, delivering, finding and delivering results for Pender County as well. And that is it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Just for our audience out there, just want everybody to know that we're just switching around right now to the next group that's presenting. So if you'll just bear with us, I'll let you know when we're back on. Thank you. Video is on? Okay. Okay, all right, perfect.
You got it. All right. We understand completely at these times.
The presentation from the next group is from Chartwells, and they will introduce themselves as they go through their presentation. Ready?
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Ramos. I have to stand here, don't I?
Yes.
I have to be right in this, don't I? It's new times, okay? I'm the Regional Development Manager for Chartwells. With me, I have brought Amanda Mendenhall, who is our Regional Director of Operations. And she's been with the company for 17 years. So we're here, and we have a couple members that are outside. They'll be tag teaming in because of the situation. So hopefully we make this as clean as we absolutely can. our stage production skills. We're testing it, but that's okay. This has been a year of test, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes. So Chartwells, why Chartwells? I think there's a few things. First and foremost, it's about the food. Those bellies need to be full. We all know scientifically proven that if they're not eating, they're not doing academically well. And we pride ourselves on making sure that those children are eating. And how do we do that? Chef's going to talk about that in a little bit. But we do it by getting kids engaged, involved, and liking what they're seeing and eating. We also get them engaged. Got to get them engaged. They're part of the program, not just a sidebar of the program, and you'll see that today as well. Fun and discovery happens, okay? And partnership. That's truly a cornerstone of what we believe. It's not just about us, Chartwells, it's about Pender County. And really, the crux of it all is our resources. We're local, we're here. As you can see from this map, I've brought 3 people with me. However, that's not all the resources that come to Pender County to help. All of these people on this map are not tied to a certain school. They're here to help. So when those hurricanes come through, when COVID happens, and I'm not going to speak about anything that could happen potentially going forward, okay? We're not going there. But just in case, we're the boots on the ground. We can be here quick. We also have a Topsail 2000 graduate on our team, so we like to embed ourselves in the district. If you see the stars up there, those are our current clients. So I think you were asking a question earlier about what counties have contracted services. We have 5 of the 6. Burke, Winston-Salem, Chapel Hill, Allegheny, and Rutherford, which were new last year. And of those, pretty profitable, can tell you that. Well, COVID is a different story, right, for everybody at this point in time. But who better to speak about partnership than Amanda? Amanda has been with us for 17 years, but 15 of those at Winston-Salem, and what a partnership she had there. So Amanda, you just move this button down.
Okay.
Okay.
I got you. Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for having us. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about partnership and collaboration. So, you know, it's our belief that great partnerships start with building relationships. It's about having that collaborative mindset. As Lisa mentioned, I was in Winston-Salem. I was the resident district manager there for 15 years. We've been there, we're almost 20 in Winston-Salem. And my counterpart and I, the child nutrition director there, we prided ourselves on the relationships that we built with each other, that we built with our team, that we built throughout the district, and even out into the community. There were often times that we had community stakeholders or district administrators that didn't know who worked for the contractor and who was the child nutrition director. And for us, that was just a true testament to the partnership that we had built and the collaborative mindset. I think for us, it's about getting to know our clients. What is the vision of Pender County? What are the goals of Pender County? More specifically, what are the goals of your food service program? And how do we align ourselves to ensure that you're not only reaching those goals, but we're taking your food service program to the next level? When we think about taking your food service program to the next level, I think a commitment to innovation is crucial. We have district partnerships in the Carolinas that have spanned 20 to 30 years, and we're always raising the bar. Yes, we are part of a larger company, and so certainly that brings the benefits of those global resources. But as you saw on the last slide, as Chartwells K-12, more specifically the South region, we are unique. We're local, we're nimble. And so it's really about cultivating those resources and making sure that we are leveraging those resources for the benefits of the students here in Pender. It's not a one-size-fits-all program. The food service program in Pender is not going to look like the food service program in Winston-Salem. It's not going to look like the food service program in Burke. They're all going to be different. However, I will say there is some value, right, in having the other 5 districts in North Carolina, because we have rolled out dinner programs at Winston-Salem. We have rolled out dinner programs at Burke, and so we certainly kind of bring that regional and state expertise to assist you in making sure that your new programs are successful. When we think about innovation, collaboration, alignment, I don't think that they've ever been as important as they have been over the last year. When you think about all of the things that we've had to navigate as we've dealt with all the challenges that COVID has thrown us, how are we going to still get the resources out to our students, out to our communities? These things have become very important. And I can honestly say that we've done some amazing things across the state of North Carolina. And it's not just been serving the traditional breakfast or the traditional lunch. It's about snack items. It's about local produce boxes for families. It's about continuing to engage our students through nutrition education, fun cooking kits. Sarah will speak to that a little bit later. We send recipes home with kids for them to make. It's about resources that are beyond food. We have a lot of nonprofits and volunteers that have assisted us in including enrichment activities and books, right, to send with our students. Whoop, backwards. This is a great quote that actually came from a counterpart. Within the confines of what is regulatory, there are ways to be innovative through collaborative partnerships. Half the battle is the desire to do more. And I think what you'll learn very quickly about us is that we always have the desire to do more. And I think as we think about the next school year, none of us in this room, unless you guys have a crystal ball that I don't know about, we don't really know what that's going to look like yet. What I do know is that we are committed to being your partner, to being consistently innovative, no matter what the new school year brings, and we're committed to always looking for ways to do more.
Now we're going to bring in Chef Imani. And for those of you at home, and I'm not sure if you can see, his presentations are usually to the size of this. This is what he likes. Chef Imani wanted to be a chef when he was 9 years old.
Absolutely.
Loves food. So we wanted to think about how the culinary culture and the scratch cooking really resonates, and no one better than Chef to speak about it.
Thank you, Lisa. So I'll just go ahead and tell you, boardroom presentations are not my thing. I am very comfortable in the kitchen. That's where I get the opportunity to create dishes that inspire everyone else. And I'll just say I've been with Chartwell's for a little over a year. And I've traveled to several different kitchens in several different districts. And one of the main focuses that I have is just making sure that every child receives an incredible meal in spite of the pandemic. Pretty much every day we're looking to make sure that we improve upon the meal that we gave the children the day before. That's really our goal. So at Chartwell's, our focus and commitment absolutely, I would say, is absolutely to our Food First culinary program, because as you know, the kids are exposed to so many things inside the school, but a vast more in terms of outside of the school. A 6-year-old child absolutely would be able to say, we could all say, has not the same palate as a 16-year-old child. And not even all 16-year-old children have the same palate. I can give you a prime example. Just last week, I was at several schools. We were passing out cheeseburgers, and I must have produced 20 different variations of the cheeseburger, including one that had a bun and lettuce, right? I say all that to say, so, I understand Top Soul is one of your schools where it's more coastal flair, and then you have Pender High School, which is probably going to be a little bit more comfort food. And we're all about scratch cooking in a very productive way. We also highlight a ton of our different dishes, as you can see on the screen here, that I think tap right into that comfort food, which is your mac and cheese and your cornbread and the greens and the pulled pork. However, we have such a variety of food that you will not be held to a district menu. You won't be held to any particular menu. You have such a variety that everyone is going to find something on the menu that they're going to love. Student choice, as you probably will find out, is a great program that we have. We have so many different varieties of food. It is something that we created for our secondary schools. Chat House is the Indian kitchen. We also have Bill Pizza by Design, which is a real fun program. And then the Roost I would say is probably our favorite one.
Got that Nashville hot
That's
chicken?
the one with the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. I'm gonna say the kids surprised me how much they like the spicy food, because I have never remembered liking spicy food like that whenever I was that age.
Picking up on my phone and I'm
Good, maybe.
where could I put him if they
Dr. Harvey?
Dr. Harvey, I think we can hear you.
I'm being quiet. All by myself.
So is that someone else?
You might be reading my thoughts. No, I'm the only
Are
one
you
who's talking
hungry?
right now.
Can we make you hungry with Nashville hot chicken?
Always,
All right.
always.
Someone else beeped in.
Thank you.
Someone else is beeped in. Who else is on the line? Hello? Did you have anyone come in your office or anything, Dr. Harvey?
No, it's just been me. Sorry about that.
No, it's not you. It's just, it sounded like somebody else had chimed in. Somebody did beep in. Mr. Bloomwright just.
I understand. I heard it as well. I heard it as well.
That might be
Thank you.
one of the vendors because it was sent to all 4 vendors.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so someone heard the Nashville hot chicken sandwich and they got super excited. I get it.
Nashville hot chicken.
So let me just go ahead and tell you that this is a great program that is designed to offer a variety of menus. And my favorite part is that the students themselves get to come and use our iPads, and they actually get to select the menus that they want at their school. Now, you're probably thinking, how do you implement this? It does not take us but 2 weeks to actually implement the menus, and they get to see this in their actual school. So this is not something we're just taking in terms of data and file it away and file in cabinet and never look at it. It is actually implemented, and the kids get to see that what they have done and their selections actually matter. I would say for me, you mentioned earlier that I started at 9 years old, and for me, food has always been my inspiration, and being able to absolutely be in the schools and learn what the kids love in different districts, in different schools for that matter, is absolutely what inspires me. Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's about the food. It's about the scratch cooking, but it's also about the children having a choice. And speaking of choice, I'm bringing in Sarah Maver. Sarah Maver is our regional dietitian, and she has been in the K-12 industry for 10 years. She has a passion for getting the kids engaged, and this is where we start to get engagement. And this button right here goes down.
All
Okay?
right.
If you,
Thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm hoping by now you understand that we are committed to driving participation. But when we say participation, we're not just talking about meal counts. We're not just talking about serving delicious food that draws everyone into the cafeteria. We're talking about engaging the whole child and the community. So one of the ways we do this is by listening and by gathering feedback. This includes things like conducting focus groups or sampling events. But we're not talking about your basic taste testing. Chef Amani just talked to you about student choice, and I think that is a great example of how we've taken tastings to the next level. First of all, everyone gets to participate. It's not just students who are buying lunch. Everyone gets to taste the food, cast their vote, they get to see the results on the screen in real time, and they get the satisfaction of knowing that their voice matters because they see the winning selection on the menu within 2 weeks. So now I want to talk to you about our main engagement program, and that is Discovery Kitchen. Discovery Kitchen is a platform where we combine promotions, nutrition education initiatives, cooking demonstrations, and our menu itself. And throughout the pandemic, we've wanted to continue driving participation with school meals, continuing that engagement. So we've even expanded to a Discovery Kitchen at Home series. This includes videos and activities that enable students to continue learning, continuing to have fun, and just discover that love of food wherever they happen to be learning or eating that day. One of my favorite Discovery Kitchen at Home events that we did was a virtual pizza party. So if you look at the slide over here in the bottom center, that's a picture of that event. And the food that they're all enjoying is a personal pizza kit, which we provided as part of the school meal program. And then they all got to tune in to a live Zoom session hosted by a chef where he showed everyone how you can make a personal pizza, how you can personalize it with different toppings. So at the end, that's everybody showing off the pizzas that they made, and they got to share a meal together. Doesn't that sound fun? I thought so. So speaking of fun, another program that I'm excited to tell you about is Mood Boost. Mood Boost is a great combination, again, of nutrition education, culinary innovation, and student engagement. The main message here is helping students understand that the food that they eat doesn't just impact their physical well-being, but their mental well-being as well. And I think everyone in this room can agree that the pandemic, school closures, it's taken a toll on the mental health of a lot of our students. So that just makes Mood Boost and other programs like it more valuable now than ever. So through Mood Boost, we explain to students that if you eat a variety of great foods, it can help boost your mood. We have identified 6 moods that we feel students can relate to. You can see them on the slide here or over here. And they're represented by these colorful characters we refer to as the Moodies. One of our main engagement tactics here is fun little giveaways, things like colorful bracelets like the ones I'm wearing, stickers, keychains, and my favorite is these trading cards. So if anybody would like one, you just raise your hand. Lisa's happy to pass them out. But what I like about them is they have a recipe on the back, just a simple recipe. Yeah, you guys can have as many as you'd like. So the hope with these is that the kids are taking these home, sharing them with the parents, and just making a connection. Like, this is what I learned today through school lunch. And we've heard from parents that sometimes the kids are saying, hey, can we make this recipe together? And so that's just one of the reasons why I love Mood Boost. And we've been able to continue with this program even during school closures. We've done that by highlighting mood boosting foods on the menu. And we also created digital stories that feature the different Moodies that continue to communicate that message that what you eat can impact how you feel. The staff really loves to take part in this program by wearing t-shirts like the one I'm wearing. We also have hats or aprons that represent the different moods. So speaking of staff, I'm going to pass it back to Lisa now, and she's going to talk to you about our staff transition. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. Hopefully you can hear me. Before I start talking about the associates, I think the thing that really hit home for me with Sarah is I was thinking about during this time how that connection has not been there with students, and doing pizza parties and virtual things like that where they can be with their classroom, and doing things like Mood Boost is really going to raise those spirits. It's been tough. But in our expertise, when we get back to the associates, we found something, and Amanda, you want to come up? We found that when you're transitioning, I think there's a saying out there, sorry I have to come over here, but I think I like to walk around, I can't. There's a saying out there that nobody likes change but a baby, right? Have you heard that? And our associates, and even associates going through a transition like this, there's some questions. So we found in a transition, the best thing to do, if you choose us as your partner, is to bring them in and have a meet and greet. No training, knife skills, culinary skills, nothing. I think the biggest thing they want to know about,
They want to know about uniforms. They want to be able to ask all of their questions, meet the folks, put faces with names, and just really get to know, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to get to know them.
And during this pandemic, we actually had Rutherford and Allegheny that we had to transition through a pandemic. So I'm sure you can imagine the associates at that point in time what they were feeling. And I think making sure that the ease of the transition is the most important thing for them, and it's about the associates. Because when you think about these associates, some of these people have been here maybe 20, 30 years, maybe a year, but that's not the point. The point is those are their babies, right? When those kids come through the line, they talk about them being their babies. They have a connection to these children. You have to take care of associates from day one. And so with all of the expenses that we saw come through in the RFP, we saw that there was a raise in everybody's salary, and we've incorporated that. But also we're investing, and we put investment in there on personal protective equipment. We've got to keep them safe. In the uniforms. And those uniforms do not have Chartwells on the front. They have Pender County, because we believe in being embedded in the county. And I think the employees want that as well. We're also giving them a prior service credit. I mean, when you start a new job, what happens? You have a 90-day waiting period sometimes for your benefits. And what happens if you get sick? We didn't want that to happen. So now they can get their benefits it's almost like a day one, but the most anybody would ever have to wait, like if the transition started in June, but yet they started in July, by July 1, they would be covered with their benefits, which I think is important to them. Also, engagement. We have all kinds of engagement with little apps that they can have on their phone and they can win prizes. But as much as we want to get the kids engaged, the staff engaged, the community engaged, it's the employees that we really care about. And I think in our current clients, that's one thing that I think we feel proudest about, is the amount of engagement with our staff. I mean, it's just been amazing what they've done through all this. But more so than that, our proposal to you was about making sure that we were accountable. In a partnership, there's an accountability, and we need to be accountable. And also, we put in investments for the associates and investments for enhanced marketing plan. And yes, investments in case you want to do coffee shops. We did all of that. The one thing we didn't do is we know dinner programs take time. We know that we're not sure what the access is to the students at this point in time. Are they going to be virtual? Are they not? What's going to happen? So we didn't want to overpromise and underdeliver and have to negotiate it out of it later. That's not how we operate. So we feel really strongly that we can come in, because most of our partners currently are very profitable. COVID has taken a little bit of a hit, but they're very profitable. And so our commitment to you guys, if we were chosen, is to really build that partnership and really foster that financial solvency. So I'm going to stop right now, because I'm sure you guys are like, all right. And I'm going to see if you guys have some questions for us.
Board members, do you have any questions? Okay, go ahead. Could I just, do you have a way of just showing us what a typical menu looks like for, I mean, I didn't ask this for Airmark because I already know what that would look like, but what does a typical day like for elementary, a middle, and a high? And I say this because, you know, I can remember when I was in school, can I keep going, Betsy? Yeah. I can remember when I was in school that you know, elementary, you know, you go up to middle school, and part of that is like you get a little bit more freedom and things you get to do in the cafeteria. Then you hit high school, and it's like, woo, you know. So I'm just kind of curious, what do your menus look like?
And so, you know, I would
You want to
Up
speak
to
in
the
here?
mic.
Speak in here. Sorry.
So, you know, I think what you're envisioning is kind of exactly what happens. And the menus that we provided in our proposal are the menus that you would see in the schools.
Okay.
And so when you think about elementary school, you might have 3 to 5.
3 to 5. 3 to 5.
Yeah. And then when you go to middle school, you might have 5 to 7 options. When you get to the high school level, I mean, really the options are endless. When you talk about the grill sandwiches per day, the pizzas per day, the made-to-order entrees, you could have upwards of 10 to 12 entrees per day, just depending upon what the offering is at the different stations.
It's a lot of choice. You have to give them choice, right? I mean, I think that's key. They eat so much outside. But I think, you know, when we went to elementary school, Cindy, you were talking about the fact that you can only have this, and then you got excited when you went to middle school. Well, I think one thing that also happens is our little tots, if they get their meal, whichever meal, and it could be 2 to 3 to 4 different choices that day, they have unlimited access to fruits and vegetables, right? There's garden bars so that they can absolutely just come back, and even if they've eaten their meal, have more fruits and vegetables. Sometimes that's really important for children who need extra, they're still hungry. And when they're still hungry, you want to make sure they have something. So it's something that we offer too. But yeah, you want to make sure that it doesn't limit you to a 1 or 2 different choice, because that's not what they see outside. It's not what they like. And you know what? Regulations, within the guidelines of the regulations, you can use spices, you can use things that still fit in those regulations and the kids like. It's just a matter of being innovative.
Okay.
Did that help answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you have a
Appreciate
question?
So what did your,
Yes.
so what did your other districts, their bus program, food program that you did during the COVID, what does that look like?
Whew. It all. Yeah. we did meals to home. We've been doing that for a very long time. Because we noticed as kids weren't coming to pick up the meals, we had to get them into their homes. We did 5-day boxes at home. We did 10-day boxes at home. And then we've partnered with local entities and volunteers to help us get it out there. I mean, they want to help. People want to help. it shouldn't just lay on the backs of the school district. I mean, there's so much community support, but that's where we bring our expertise and guidance and help us get that together and unified so that we can do it. But I mean, when you talk about the kids that were in school, some did in the classroom, some came through the cafeteria and brought it back to the classroom. They're all different because it all depends on the district. But we're really proud of the fact that we partnered. In Chapel Hill, they partnered with so many volunteers. They were sending in produce boxes to us. We were sending home not only the meals, but produce boxes of just fruits and vegetables. I think there was somebody who donated pork. But that's because of the person who really put it together. And it's with the partnership between the district and us that really helped that happen. So multitude difference of things, it's so many different things that we've done. Did that help answer?
It did, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything from you, Beth? Anything else? Well, we thank you for your time, and hopefully you guys have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, while they're getting ready, I'll just say. This is the nutrition group. I did them in alphabetical order, but I didn't use the in the alphabetizing, just so you know how I assigned them. And once they get ready and they tell me, then I'll start the time, but they will introduce themselves. And
So Betsy, you have the proposal already? I wouldn't have asked that question. I think about it not being.
more information on your price, because they're big. And so we got them all put together for you, and they're about to do something like that. And you'll get them when you can. All right. So, are you?
There's probably extra, so. Thank you.
Oh.
There you go, Betsy.
So, are you extra?
Yeah.
If you're ready, the nutrition group. And I'm gonna start. Yes, ma'am.
30 seconds or less.
Oh, wait, to make sure you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure everything looks out.
Well,
You ready?
as soon as you can exit.
You can come up.
You ready?
Am I using the last deck?
You'll be using that and the key down.
Okay, page down button.
Advance it.
Okay.
Good to go.
Are we ready then? Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. It is actually nice to be out of my little cubicle of a hole that I have at home as my office. My name is Lyle Carrick. I am business development inside Nutrition Group, as well as a regional manager for Nutrition Group. This is Jessica Anzalone. So Jessica's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jessica Anzalone. I'm the managing director at the Nutrition Group. I've been at nutrition for about 17 years officially, but nutrition definitely holds a special place in my heart. It's been in my life as long as I've been alive. My dad was one of the founding members in 1975, so I am very pleased to be part of the second generation and just committed to continuing to build upon an amazing company, hoping to bring it to Pender County.
So a little quick, info on me. I'm a chef by trade. Spent 20 plus years in restaurants and wanted to get the heck out of that whole. And so joined Nutrition Group about 16 years ago, started as a food service director, moved into business development and sales, and I've actually put my operation hat back on now, and is the regional manager covering our Virginia schools and anything else that we open into the Carolinas as well. So a little quick history about us. We are a family-run organization. We are privately owned. There are there's 18 shareholders now. Both Jessica and I are shareholders inside of the company. That gives us a vested interest in making sure that our clients are satisfied and successful. So we're currently contracted with about 250 clients in 6 different states. And a neat little fun fact about nutrition is in every single state that we do business, we still have our very first client. So when you look at Pennsylvania, where we started in Western PA, it was General Braddock School District, which is no longer in operation. It was consumed by Woodland Hills during a merger back in the 70s. But neat little fun fact about us. So, management companies are pretty much all the same. We're a little bit different in the way that we're structured and the way that we're laid out. We are looking for a partnership. Our programs are customizable. We saw during the walkthrough process 3 of your buildings. It is difficult for me to sit there and say what the rest of your buildings look like, how they function, and everything else. So it's hard to come up with a full plan to lay out in front of you at this point. That is something that we would do on a building level, meet with your building principals and talk to them, see what their needs are, and then, loop in the administration with that. So real quickly, financially wise, you guys can see what the return, what we were looking for, what our cost per meal is. This is the boring part of everything. If there's any questions, and I do want to stop, real quickly. If any of you have a question while I'm talking, just ask it. This is about you. This is not about us. We do this on a constant basis. So a little bit on how we actually start to build our programs. It's great to sit there and talk about instituting programs and putting it in there, but it really all starts with your management staff. So we built a 3-layer prone management staff. It starts with a general manager who is on site. Our general managers run a little bit differently than a lot of times. They are out in the buildings. One thing that we hear all the time when we take over districts is get out of our way, because we're there working side by side with your kitchen managers and your hourly staff and making sure everything is going right. We added in a secondary layer that is an assistant director as well as a chef and a dietitian, and then a 3rd layer on top of that in production managers, 1 dedicated to the secondary levels, 1 for the elementary levels. But they're not alone. We do a 360 degree of support services inside of that. That includes me as a regional manager. That includes Jess as the managing director. It goes all the way up, to the president of our company. The president of our company is out inside of our districts. The only way that we know what is going on is by being there. So all of these people are here to support you. And that is whether district employees or management employees, as you guys are going through that transition right now with your labor. So, but no program is successful without the employees themselves. And we have invested a large amount of time and money and effort in making sure that they are successful. Our training programs start from day 1. We start, immediately with a meet and greet to the employees, let them get to know us a little bit, and we get to know them a little bit and start to lay that groundwork out. It moves on to a professional development day where we kind of really handle all of the big ticket items, the refreshers on the National School Lunch Program regulations. Everybody seems to forget everything over the summer, so it's a great little refresher tool. We started with kitchen manager training specifically for them, as well as head cooks to get them up to speed quickly. And it moves on to online training programs that we can do throughout the year. New employees come on, we can get them caught up quickly. We have a huge library of Litmos training modules, and that is growing on a constant basis. We go right directly inside. We have started to put into place recipe training right inside of our recipes. You can click on a link, you can use a QR code, takes you out to a YouTube video that shows you how to do it. But that's not really where it's, fully ends. We have built around our employees an employee improvement program, a recognition program. It starts with an hourly pathway to management. We have found that the best food service directors are hourly employees. They understand what it takes on a daily basis to run a program. So we have developed a plan to move them through the process to be able to get to a food service director level. That also goes into, we have developed an energy, anybody read the John Gordon book, Energy Bus? It's a great book. You should read it. Quick little read. But it talks about positivity in the workforce and how you develop that. And once you develop that, it moves forward, and you end up having a happy staff, which is a productive staff, and everything about it. So our whole employee enrichment program is designed and built around that. And then, we've also developed Moments Matter, and that is a way for us to be able to celebrate all the little things that the hourly staff does on a daily basis to make it special for the kids. So that is, it's a big award type of scenario. It's chosen, 4 times a year? To, give them a reward. There's a financial reward. It's like a sweepstake type of thing for them to recognize all the great things that they are doing on a constant basis. So we'll talk a little bit about our programs now. So it starts with our concepts. We have a 3-level concept. It all surrounds fresh eats. As a company, we believe in scratch cooking. We started that concept a long time ago to get away from the heat and serve and get back to cooking in schools again. Best quality programs usually means that you're cooking from scratch. So on the elementary level, it's our Fresh Eats cafeteria. You can see that the design is, bright, vibrant colors that kind of, excite the kids, quickly shows them where they need to go, what they need to do, what they can look and choose from. The menus themselves are simple and easy to read, quick, student-friendly items. We have built into the program specialty programs. We have 2 mascots, Molly the cow and Calvin the calf. Molly does milk and those type of items. Calvin the calf is farm-based, so farm to fork. And then, teaching, nutrition education in the classroom. If we can get there, we would love to do that. If not, we do it in the cafeteria itself. And then one program that is great is our Wellness Wednesday. That is a way to introduce kids to new and different items out there. A lot of times, especially at this age group, they're afraid to try new things, and that's what that is designed to do. In the middle school side, get a little bit more. Those tween years are kind of funky. I have a 14-year-old. They're a little nuts. I always call this the squirrely years. So it kind of gets a little bit more confident building type of, area signage, those type of things. Menus start to expand a little bit because tastes start to expand out. You can see we start to do a little bit more on the different cuisine type of items. Recipe of the month, homemade pizza starts to flow in. We do a fresh dough pizza every single day in our schools. It is, our signature item. Fresh fruit and veggie bars become popular. Hopefully we can get back to those. Obviously COVID has changed a lot of things out there, but unlimited fruits and veggie bars, and they can dish it themselves. It's out there for them to choose from. On the high school level, you start to get more into a bistro type of concept. These kids are used to being out. They have money. They're used to going out to McDonald's and Panera and all those type of restaurants. And so we have built the concept around the same thing, something that they're used to. Quick, grab-and-go items, something that they want. Lots of choice out there. Again, the menu-wise, you see a lot of the same type of things on the middle school level. Gets kicked up a little bit. Food truck options, one of our actually favorite items. And if we were able to do food, we would actually be doing it for you, is a spaghetti bolognese grilled cheese. I know it sounds horrible, but it is phenomenal. So, try to change it up, get some interest inside of there. So, but it doesn't stop there. Obviously, breakfast, studies have proven breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And so with breakfast, we have done a little bit of everything. We do obviously traditional breakfast lines, breakfast in the classroom, second chance breakfast, breakfast kiosks. Whatever the need is, we want to get the food to the kids and get them eating breakfast so that they can sit and learn properly inside school. It doesn't stop there. After school, I know Pender County is putting in a dinner program starting next year. That is inside of our budget. We are a firm believer in dinner programs. It's a great way. There is a need out there for kids to be able to get a meal after school. Especially it's great for sports programs, to be able to feed kids, tutoring programs, those type of things. Let's get food into their hands any way we can. And lastly, NutriSlice. We do utilize NutriSlice, so that same process is going to be in place there. That'll be a seamless transition, so all that nutritional information will be sitting there at the fingertips for everybody to be able to access. So, short, sweet, to the point. I tend to talk fast, so I can open it up to any questions that you all have at this point. We do thank you for the time. It is always an exciting time for us to be able to possibly break into a new state, you know, as we continue to grow as an organization. So I will put it out there for any questions.
Board members, any questions?
Always do. So if you were chosen, how your employee switch over, how does that work? Is there a wait period for employee benefits to kick in, or?
Now, employee benefits start on July 1. So we would get that process started as quickly as we can during the initial, at the end of, you know, Aramark's current contract timeframe. So once that award process starts, we start kicking into our transition plan and into our transition process. You'll see me down here on a constant basis, which right now is great. PA weather is not very good right now.
Well, you're lucky you came when you did, because it hasn't been nice here. It's been, not been cold, but we've had endless rain for.
Well, we've had endless snow, so.
I'll take the rain.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yep. So no, from the employee side, you know, raises were included inside of our proposal for all the employees based off of the rates that we were given. So, but one of the things that we do inside of that transition timeframe is we actually ask the employees to bring in their pay stubs so that we can verify pay rates so that nobody is losing any pay in this process. You know, we're not going to be successful if they're not happy.
Any other comments, questions? No? Mr. Hall, Ms. Barnes?
The only thing I'm gonna say is that I think we kind of shorted ourselves by not, allowing these folks, these vendors to bring in food today. Because, I'm not saying, well, what I am saying is I think that, the quality of the food that you're serving our students is what is paramount.
I would agree.
And I think we might have made a mistake with that, but anyway, thank you for the presentation. It was very good. Thank you.
We would sit there and offer you to go to any of our clients, call up any of our clients and ask them, you know, how it has been. You know, last year we started up two new districts in Virginia. One was previously contracted. I won't say with who. And the other one was a self-op school district. And we started up another self-op school district this year in Virginia. And obviously, this is a different time and a different year by any stretch of the imagination. But I think you could make the phone call and ask any of them, go through our client list and make some phone calls. We have nothing to hide.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. I can tell you, Miss Burns, they really wanted to bring food. But we're like, you can't do it because. Yeah. Well, they really wanted to, I can tell you. I know, we just couldn't. They're like, no food. I thought you wanted to go with numbers. I understand, but, you know, that, I would just say, it wasn't because they didn't want to. Yeah, no, we're good to go. There are some videos. Is there, am I using Twitter?
They have screens in front of them, I'll move because we have
Oh, fine. Oh, that's great. Oh, so I can just use this, too bad.
Absolutely, and so this will be your down button, and if you have embedded video in there, all you do is, of course, that's the mouse. So you're good to go.
Thank you so much. I'll say 5 so you'll know you're about to the end. Okay. Just to kind of help you.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is our vendor Southwest Food Service Excellence. And now they will do their presentation.
Well, let's wait, Mr. George had to step up.
and then you can use this pad to get to the start of the video
Okay.
when you're ready to start it. If you need help on that.
We'll wait for Mr. George and then we'll start.
Sure, no problem. Everything about.
Have you all been in here all day, or did you get to at least have some of that nice weather outside?
Oh, we're inside most of the day.
Finally, a nice day.
It is, that's always it.
I was supposed to see that Amber Alert has been going on.
How many times are they gonna take
It's been going on all day from Winnebago. It's all day. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you.
We're ready when you are.
Is it okay if we take the microphone off the stand? Is that not true? I don't know. Just figured, for the introductions at least.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you all very much. My name is Eric Gowans. I am a Regional Director of Business Development with SFE. I've been with SFE for about 6 years now and been excited to be part of the growth. We're thrilled to be able to be here in Pender County to talk to you about our passion, which is K-12 food service. I know you've been here listening to some presentations from other companies, and we appreciate you saving the best for last.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Murphy. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for SFE. I live here in North Carolina, and what's probably more important to our conversation today is, one, my mask comes down when I talk, so I'm trying to keep it up. But also more importantly, I'm actually SFE's executive sponsor for our partnership with Pender County Schools. And what that means for you is that, one, I'm based here in North Carolina, so I'll be here to support your on-site management team. But in addition to that, it means more resources, more support, and for better or for worse, more visits from me, which means making sure that we are fulfilling our commitments to you, and that also we stay in constant communication. So as Pender County grows and changes, we're growing and changing with you.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Stradling. I'm actually a general manager for SFE, and I'm partnering with the Rock Hill School District down in South Carolina. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but been there for about 4 years now. I'm the on-site person that's there every day and works with the staffs and make sure everything runs smoothly.
Thank you. So, wanted to start talking a little bit about partnership and kind of how partnership looks. North Carolina is new, so that's the big elephant in the room. Nobody knows who SFE is in North Carolina. So we're looking for the right partner as an entry to the state. We look we want to make sure that there's alignment and unity with the mission and the values of our partners and with SFE. And I absolutely love preparing your graduates for the world that awaits them. It's a big part of what we do from the food side is helping make sure that not only are we delivering really the best quality food, but giving students all the options to explore, to see what types of food choices that they can make to benefit the rest of their lives. So by the time you get to be my age, they haven't made the food choices that I've made, right? We are a food-first company. We are the only company in the country that's CEO is a chef. Everything we do is about the best quality food.
we cook 75% of what we do from scratch, and moreover, our programs are customized. Not just the food side of the programs, and Brian's going to talk a little bit more about how we customize the menus to your students' particular tastes, but we customize our reporting. Sometimes we walk into districts and they're like, well, our current partner gives us a report that runs month to month, or ends in a weird time, and we have to try to, we want to customize your reporting so that matches up. We customize every part of our program. One of the things that's done for us, it made us probably more ready and more prepared, better suited for the COVID pandemic than many companies, where a lot of companies had to revamp, restructure, lay off people, make all kinds of changes. SFE, that's what we do. We customize everything from delivery styles to menu concepts to menus. So I'm not saying it was an easy transition into COVID, but it was easier for us than for some. And when we talk about the staffing and we talk about compassionate leadership, one of the things that our leadership found was important was to take care of the people who were still on the front lines when COVID first happened. We didn't go and lay off a bunch of people. Instead, we rewarded those folks who were still serving the kids with a hero bonus, an extra bonus in their paycheck, because we knew that we were asking them to do some pretty extraordinary things. One of our partners just outside of Kansas City, Kearney, Dr. Bill Nicely, I think back in April, so shortly after schools were closed and all those things, he was interviewed on Fox News, and he was talking about the partnership and the changes that he made. That's been a great relationship, and we really started some unique things there. He was one of the first schools, I think, in the state of state of Missouri to do busing, where they're actually busing food right to, following the bus route so that they get food out to kids, and made some really cool changes there. So our compassionate leadership, taking care of people is really a high priority for us. And innovation, because we do customize things, because we are always looking for new ways to do things, it's part of who we are. SFE was founded by two guys. They had worked for Aramark and Chartwell's for a long, long time. And they said, you know what, we know there's a better way to do food service for K-12. We can cook from scratch. We can ask kids what they want. We can menu those things. We can make school food fun and exciting. We talk to people all over that have this perception that school food has to be yucky food, it's gross, or we got these regulations and we can't make good food. It's just simply not so. Because our approach is different, we've experienced tremendous growth. We are one of the fastest growing food management companies in the country, specializing only in K-12. So every person in our company is focused on kids and food. That's all we do. We don't do facilities. We don't do energy contracts. We do kids and food, and we operate in over 160 with 160 partners in 15 states, and we are continuing to grow. Having Pender County as a flagship is the only way that we'll be able to grow in North Carolina. Having that first partnership, we know that it's a small world. Everybody talks. Hey, what happens? We need to be able to be sitting in a meeting like this about a year from now and say, call Pender County, let them tell you what their experience has been like. And you need to be able to say, hey, this has been a great decision. Our kids love the food. It's been a tremendous change. That's how we continue to grow business. Our competitors hate when we enter a new state. Our best references still are our first district partners in each state, because when we enter a new state, we just do things so differently, and we deliver food and programs in such a way that nobody's seen before, and it really starts to spread like wildfire. We started in Texas back in 2008, and we now have more business in Texas than everybody else. So what do we do different? Number one, we focus on participation. We increase participation everywhere we go. The only way you can increase participation is by doing better food. We engage the students. We meet the stakeholders right where they are. We do taste tests. We do surveys. and we really strive to deliver programs that are going to drive participation. We know that what kids eat in Texas is different than what they eat in Minnesota. When we had our first partner in Minnesota, we had to create a hot dish, which is like the regional food there. It's like tater tot casserole, but they love it. You have to have it there. It's part of the culture. And so we really adopt to the culture of the districts that we partner with. Arkansas, it's chili and cinnamon rolls. Very, very odd, but they love it. So, and that goes to the custom culinary program. We customize our programs to the tastes of your students, to the things that they tell us they want to eat. We've also made an investment, or proposed to make an investment, to refresh the cafeteria. We want your students to come in day one, feel a new energy, feel a new excitement, and feel that the cafeterias look different, they smell different, and get excited to want to eat the food. We've projected a strong financial return. We've guaranteed a break even, and that's all before we've even calculated the increases in the top line revenue from increased participation, which we see happen time and time again. So it's my job to tell you what we do and how great we are, but this is where we really want you to hear from one of our partners, who was a 20-plus year partner with Aramark and made the change to SFE. And we'll let, oh, no volume.
SFE made a lie around, and the reason
that work. So we're very proud of our partnerships and our relationships. We're very proud of being able to. We're very proud to be able to share those the messages from our partners, and hopefully you've gone through our proposal and had a chance to reach out to some of our other district partners, and they can share with you also about their experiences and how we've come in and really made an impact in their schools, and that's what we intend to do with Pender County as well. I'm going to go on to talk a little bit about the Culinary Experience, and we might just skip this. There's another video here. I think we'll just skip it. It's just yeah, we can watch it while we're talking. Yeah, but we don't need the audio here. No, it's okay. Really, what we wanted to show, in a non-COVID time, we would love to have chefs here to be able to prepare some food, and so you could smell and see and taste the SFE difference. So this is just kind of enough to, I guess, whet your appetite a bit. But we really do focus on food, and our culinary team is so excited to share. We always say we've got more guys that run around in chef coats than suit coats, and I think that starts with our leadership, with Monty being a chef. I'm gonna just skip past that video. It starts with Monty being a chef and really having a culinary focus, making sure we are delivering the greatest quality food. Our goal is to deliver an exceptional culinary experience. We want your kids, they have to eat at the same restaurant 180 days out of the year or so, right? We want that experience to not be boring and mundane. We don't do cycle menus. Most every other company out there, it's a 6-week cycle menu and then it repeats. Well, what if the meatloaf that was served on the meatloaf that was served on the second Tuesday, the kids didn't like, but it just repeats. Why? Why would we menu that again? Why would we put it back out there? We wouldn't. We don't do cycle menus. We do a new menu, customized every single month, based off of feedback from your students. Everything is student driven. We have more choices. We talk about concepts. If you think of a concept like walking into the mall food court and you see there might be a Sparrow and there might be a Panda Express type thing, and there might, so there's different concepts, different individual style restaurants. We have more concepts and more scratch-made recipes within those concepts than anybody else. You see these pictures and you think, oh, they're nice, pretty marketing pictures. These actually aren't marketing pictures. These came out of our schools. One of the hardest parts of my job is convincing people that the pictures that we show are actually the food that we serve to students. St. Louis Public Schools in Missouri is one of our partners. We did a presentation much like this, and we had food, and they saw this salad, and they said, well, it all looks real nice, but that's not really what you do. And Althea from St. Louis, she didn't tell anybody. She drove 4 hours across the state to our only other partner in the state at the time. And it's a school with about 900 kids enrolled, pretty small school. And she walked in and saw that exact same salad that we had presented on their line. And I always say it's that one little salad that won us the partnership with St. Louis. But the food that I'm showing is really what we do. The concepts, they're on trend. We know that food is like fashion in a lot of ways. What's cool to eat, what's trendy, blended, the smoothies in the morning. Kids love it, particularly at the high school level. It's kind of a grab and go. They don't have to wait in line and do the whole cafeteria thing. Taco Street is almost like going into a Chipotle, something like that. We talked about student-driven menus. That comes from taste tests, that comes from surveys. We have all different ways we want to meet kids at every grade level. We find that kids are very, very honest. They'll tell you if they don't like something, they'll tell you if they do. We try to simplify the business. When they tell us they like something, we put it on the menu. When they tell us they don't, we don't. And then lastly, our culinary team, they chose culinary as a profession, as a career. And so they get excited about sharing that passion with students, with the community, through caterings, through special programs, through working with, if you have a nutrition program in the high school. Our chefs love to be a part of that. Actually, Charles Dash, our corporate executive chef, is like a champion ice carver. So he does some really cool like ice carving things from time to time, and all of those things are available. I'm going to now turn it over to Brian to talk about operations.
Thank you. I promise to be fast. I know you guys are probably getting tired. 5-star support, what does that look like for you? We've talked about it numerous times. The kids, the students really partner with us to make those menus. We also partner with the administrators, principals, to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the students, because ultimately that's how we're going to grow participation, is by them wanting to eat. If they don't, then it's a real struggle, and it's easy if we include them. A lot of companies say they'll include them, but then they don't. We do. We include them in the process. Another thing with 5-star support is that we have the largest source of registered dietitians in our company than any other company. So we have a lot of resources that we can pull from to make sure our meals are compliant, but make sure they taste good as well. The other support system that we have is we're able to create that financial surplus from that, from doing those meals or creating those meals that the kids want. The operational and employee transitions, a lot of times those are difficult. You've got staff that is used to a certain way of doing things, and now you're bringing in a whole new company, a whole new way of doing things. From day one, SFE, we come in and we try to make it comfortable for them. We don't give them really super hard recipes to start with. We give them things that they can do and that they can grow and build upon. Your team will include a general manager, such as myself, a district chef, which would be just for this district, and an assistant general manager as well. So those support staff would be there, as well as all the kitchen managers in the district. We include them in our leadership as well. Communications. Communications is key to a successful program. In our district, I communicate with my counterpart every single day, and that's fine. We love it. Our offices are right down from each other. He supports the district side. I'm on the food service management side, and he'll dial my extension 3-4 times a day. I'll dial his, and we collaborate on what needs to happen that day and correct any issues that might come up. Nutrition and culinary education. Right here, this is just an extension. Serving food and serving great food to the students is kind of where it starts. That's what we should do every day. But with all these other aspects of what we do, farmers markets, health fairs, you can see all of them listed there. Those are amazing programs that the children are excited about. They get to try different foods, they get to see the shapes, the textures of different things that are there, and it's such a treat for me and my team and all of our staff to be able to share those programs with them and hopefully take that with them when they leave school and move into their adult lives. They'll have those good eating habits. They'll learn about nutrition and why it's important. I'm all done. I'm going to turn this over to Sarah, and she's going to finish it up.
Thanks, Brian. So I want to talk a little bit about nutrition and marketing, probably not shocking given my introduction. But first I want to start with, we are really proud of our network of registered dietitians. Brian had mentioned that we have the largest network in the industry, and we're particularly proud of that. They focus on menu design and compliancy to make sure that what's happening in the schools every day is what's supposed to happen in the schools for North Carolina as well as the USDA. And we are even more proud to say that Since 2004, our company's founding, we've had 0 fiscal findings in USDA audits, and that's something to truly be proud of, and something that our registered dietitians play a critical role in. But they just don't do compliance and menus. They focus heavily on grant writing as well. It's a great, unique support program that we offer to our district partners, and our registered dietitians have become pretty strong grant writers. To date for this school year, we've earned over $2.5 million in grant funding for our district partners, and that could be anything from equipment grants to fruits and vegetables and new service equipment. And when we touch on marketing, I think the headline here is that food should be fun. We want our students to think that mealtime is the best part of their day, because they're going in and they're getting great meals that they love, meals that they are excited to try. And we do that through a variety of methods. Everything, of course, is age appropriate. So at the elementary level, you might see some of our mascots present, as well as environmental branding that's appropriate for that age group. When you get to middle and high school, you'll start to see things like digital signage, retail-inspired branding. I think Eric touched on that briefly, food court style. We want to make sure that the experience that they're having in the school cafe is reflective of the dining experiences they're having everywhere else. It's just like the mall food court, except they can't go to the mall right now. So it might have to be the school cafeteria. So that's the extent of our presentation. I want to say first, we are extremely proud to be here today. Having Pender County as our first flagship North Carolina partnership would mean so much to us. We're here to truly drive your mission and values, getting students into the cafe, driving participation. That's what we're all about, and we do it all through food. We, of course, want to make sure we leave time for Q&A, so we'll leave it to you to take it away.
All right, board members, at this time, what questions, observations do you have?
I don't have anything. They touched on my question.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep. Anything I had also about the menu and all that? Well covered. Ms. Burns, Mr. Hall? All right.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm sure if there's no questions, we appreciate, we must have done a good job. We just want to make sure that we've left no doubt that, partnering with SFE can be a great experience for Pender County, and I think it can be a mutually beneficial partnership. So we do appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Sorry,
it.
a question did pop up.
Sure.
How close is your nearest district to where we are right now?
Probably Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Okay, what is that, about 3 hours?
3.5 or 3 hours. It took me about 3 hours and 45 minutes to get here.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're not too far. We're right below Charlotte. So
Right.
about 15 minutes below Charlotte.
Okay.
Into South Carolina.
That's
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
We appreciate it.
Anytime to come and visit.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Chestnut, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I guess the thing is, we should ask, do y'all have any questions, or does Lynn have anything she'd like to state about anything that's going on? You may have to say that, because I don't know if she can hear me.
Lynn, are you still there? Dr. Harvey, you still there?
Nope, she must have left.
I'm still here, yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So we've heard all of our presentations now, and I guess our next step is what questions or information or anything that you want to give us at this time?
Well, congratulations. You've had great competition, which is what this whole solicitation process is about. I think you now have the opportunity to look at your proposals and determine where you feel the best fit will be. I presume your evaluation committee is also looking at your proposals and beginning to score your rubric so that you can begin to sort through your potential candidates. At this point, I didn't see any who I felt were absolutely non-responsive to your solicitation. Certainly, they come with varying strengths, and you'll want to take that into consideration. But from there, I think it's just an opportunity for you to, based upon what you asked for and how they responded, determine where the best fit is for your community.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate you calling in and being on the line with us this afternoon. That meant a lot.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I want to congratulate you again, and specifically to your leadership team for having conducted what I believe is such a free and open competition. Everything has been transparent. Everything has been clear to all who are involved, and this, again, is exactly what we like to see in this kind of a solicitation environment. So kudos to you for making that happen. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. Clearly, you are going to have a difficult decision to make as you get closer to your process. I assume you may actually start with a process of elimination as you go forward, looking at the scoring rubric. But as I can answer additional questions, I'm happy to do so. And again, I thank you for the privilege and the opportunity to join you today, to hear what has been suggested to you, and wish you all the best as you begin to sort through the most responsive and responsible potential vendor.
All right. Well, thank you so, so much. We really appreciate it. Give it part of your day for us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So at this time, it looks like we're moving into closed session. Is that what I'm understanding? No, we're not. Okay, we're not going to closed session.
So let me ask one thing before we move on. This lady that was just on the phone, what is the purpose of her being here today?
Because if you don't get along with her, our program can't go forward. She's a great person, I'll just tell you that. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so let me get to the mic.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, Betsy.
Yeah, Selena, I know you're great.
Dr. Harvey, you feel free to chime in when I get your title wrong, by the way. Let me restate my question.
Oh, please don't worry about that. Those kind of things are irrelevant. Those are irrelevant.
So this is a local decision, so what does someone from Raleigh or wherever have to do with this?
So
that's just simply what I want to know, nothing more. Nothing
Yeah,
less.
so,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'll be glad to respond to that.
sure, go right ahead, Dr. Harvey.
Regulations that govern the school nutrition programs.
Oh, let me
requires
stop you.
state
Let me stop you. Brandon, answer the question for me. I was asking Brandon, I'm sorry.
Sure, I'll answer the question.
Oh, please forgive me. Sorry about that.
No problem, thank you.
No, Dr. Harvey's here as a resource, and she has an obligation under FDA regs to help our process as we move forward with the selection. She's simply here to answer questions because honestly, Dr. Harvey's the most informed person on the FDA regs in the state of North Carolina. She runs child nutrition for DPI, and frankly speaking, Betsy, I'll speak for Betsy on this. You're good? Yep.
Dr. Harvey, thank you for being here. That answered my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We just felt that it
My
would.
pleasure. Thank you.
Because she had, under her responsibility, she has seen the actual books that was turned in, which you are going to get. And they had to meet everything that was asked for in the RFP to be even considered a responsive bid. And so she helped with that too, by the way.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. We had a review committee take this rubric and went through all the books, and they scored that, which we're not going to discuss what the scores are. I'm just telling you what we did, because you're going to get the proposals to look at, and you can do the same thing. But
Betsy, can I stop you?
sure.
So I don't really think it would be fair for us to see the score before we discuss this. Would this be a closed session item?
Now, I asked, Brandon said no.
No part of it.
Well, I'll be glad to hold on to them till you want
How
them.
is a contract, or a potential contract, how is that not a closed session item?
Mr. Hall, unless you're seeking my legal advice on the contract itself or the potential contract, it's not a closed session item because it has to have a justification under statute for being a reason to go into closed session. And right now, you don't have a reason to go into closed session. So that's the basis. There is no you're talking about public contract, and it's a award of a public contract,
Okay.
which you guys do all the time, and you have that conversation in open session. So,
Okay, all right.
So
Okay.
what part of it would be closed session?
so what?
So what part of it would be closed
There,
session?
there wouldn't be any part of it
So
that's
you're
closed.
telling me that this will never come up in closed session?
Not as far as I'm concerned, unless there are performance concerns that you want to
No,
ask.
I'm talking about for these new presentations.
It's no different than it's no different than the one we just did for custodial services.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
It's,
same
it's exactly the same.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, good, thanks.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
So, I was just going to say, we had a committee of a principal from every level, elementary, high, and middle school. We had a school nurse on the committee and a central office support staff. We gave them the rubric to go through, and they had a copy of the RFPs that had been submitted, and they were to go through, and like I say, you're gonna see what this is. And they scored them. And what we did was we took all 5 of the sheets from the 5 people and averaged them to come up with a final score for each one. And then Tanya Brown, who's my assistant, added it all up. So, I don't know if you want these or not, but we're not gonna discuss them. Not, Miss, whoever's back there. Brandon said that we cannot discuss this until the meeting, as far as in here like this.
Well, I didn't say you couldn't.
Well, you said we shouldn't.
Well, you should. There really couldn't and should. So
Okay.
let me just.
I told you to get me, cause
Yeah,
I don't wanna do
absolutely.
anything
So-
wrong here. We try to be up and go forward with all this.
That's right. I'll commend Ms. Chestnut for her hard work. What I said to Ms. Chestnut was I would not recommend her discussing the scores with you until you have the presentations in front of you and have an opportunity to look at them yourselves. And you can see the scores that the staff put on it and the presentations at the same time. Then you can have a more informed conversation when you come back together next meeting. That's,
Okay,
that,
so if you want me to hold these, I'll be glad to hold them.
Sure.
I'll give you a blank rubric, so that as you go through them,
go back to the mic.
a blank rubric, so you can go through them and you can do your own scores, and then we can look at yours and look at these and do whatever we need to do to get through this. So, whatever you want
What
to
do the
do
rest
is
of you guys think? What do you think?
fine with me.
I'm fine with
It
that.
doesn't matter to me, it's not a way we've ever done it. It's not a way we've ever done it before, we've always had the rubric and looked at those at the same time we've made our own decisions, but it
Well,
is what it is.
I mean, none of us did any of this because we wanted to be, fair across the board. That's the reason we had all these.
That's why I said, that's why
Yeah.
I asked when we were gonna see the score.
Well, I think,
I
Mr.
don't
Hall,
think it's fair that we get influenced right away.
maybe when you read how, I have got to go make a copy, some more copies. I don't have quite enough, but if you, here, let me give you this to look at.
It's got a score on it.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm gonna give you all one. I'm gonna have to go make some copies of it. I don't have quite enough, but this shows you, this is, I have to get hers and, let me go make.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll just
I know
pass it
that.
down.
I'll give you the copies. And these, well, they got blank ones.
She's got the ones that are completed.
There are certain, when you're going through these, this rubric, which was in the proposal, so they knew what we were going so they knew what we were going to be looking at. You can see that it asks for certain things. It gives you kind of a guide to what you're actually looking for to see, did they meet the criteria of this, or did they do this, or whatever. So basically, that's how this went. So I'll do whatever y'all want me to do. And
I'm fine with that.
You're fine with,
Just wait doing ours and then,
yeah, I'm fine with that too. Just
Okay.
wait.
All right, well, we'll get you all copies of that. We have the presentation, the booklets that they gave us, boxed up together for you to pick up one here in Dr. B's office right now. The only thing we ask about those, the food service companies in these or not presentations, but in these submittals, have what they call proprietary information. So we're asking that it, stay within our confines. We are actually getting redacted copies, so the other folks, everybody can see everybody's proposal without the proprietary information. But yours has everything in it. So we're asking for you to be very confidential with them and to bring them back with you when, when you come for the meeting in March. Now, is there anything else I need to say?
See, that sounds like closed session to me.
Well, I don't know, I'm just.
No, it's,
Well,
Well,
public
that-
presentation is a public document.
Well,
that's right. It is.
Mr. Hall, what you're running into is the public records issue, and essentially, because a company in an RFP can designate particular information that is proprietary, and as long as it meets the definition of proprietary, it is no longer, that portion is redacted out of their proposal, and that's what each company is currently doing. However, you as the requester get an unedited version of that. That way, if somebody were to make a public records request for what you got, they're not going to get what you got as the entity you asked for. They're going to get a redacted version that would be responsive to the public records request.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
any questions?
No, we're
Okay.
good.
okay, so I'm gonna hold this, right?
All right.
Okay, and we'll get you when the meeting's dismissed, we'll get the things for you. And I'll get some more copies. Did you already get the copies? Well, they haven't.
No.
What do they up there have to give you? the-
So, Mr. McPherson, at this time, we are,
Yes, ma'am.
where are we going from this point on? Are we ready to adjourn? Are we,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
As far as I know,
so
unless,
there's nothing to do with so closed session didn't need to be, okay.
Nope.
We just weren't sure.
Okay, all right, that's what
unless,
threw me there. Okay.
no need for a closed session unless you guys see fit for one.
No. Do any board members? No?
Okay?
All right. So do we still need to do a motion to adjourn? And okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So at this time, we need a motion to adjourn this special called board meeting. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Do we have a second? Mr. George has made the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.